So if you guys don't know, every week on the Kind of Funny Gamescast, I like to have the last topic be reserved for your questions. So you go over to kindoffunny.com/forums, go to the Gamecast forum, leave some threads, leave some posts and stuff.
Leave questions and comments and concerns
about the Kind of Funny Gamescast. We'll get to all of them at some point. Dallas Rico.
That's a great name.
I'd love to hear what you all think about this fall's lineup across the 3 platforms. Do you think PS4 sales will suffer?
This is what we were going back to after E3, right? The fact that Xbox actually has exclusives for the fall, whereas Sony does not. Mm-hmm. Maybe No Man's Sky, probably not, but so no. You know what I mean? So what does that mean? I think Xbox narrows the gap, but doesn't surpass PlayStation here. And I don't think PlayStation is too worried about it because they're still going to sell PS4s.
Yeah.
You still have Fallout. Batman will still carry over. Metal Gear will still carry over. And then on the other side, yeah, I mean, Xbox has Halo, you know what I mean, which is the big one. But like Halo does only speak to a certain audience. And do those people already have Xboxes? Were they waiting for this? There's more Destiny content out now that's keeping those people happy and grabbing those people to come play. Like we are in this interesting spot where it seems like, and I say seems with a shrug, right, that it's flip-flopped a bit here to where PlayStation is in front and PlayStation is where your friends are playing. So when the new multiplayer game, if Destiny's still popular, comes out, you play it there. And so as we saw with PS3, right, like all the exclusives in the world didn't make them catch up and surpass 360. Eventually it did, years and years and years later. But in terms of right now, this holiday season, I don't think Sony's sweating it, and I don't think Microsoft has delusions of grandeur that they're going to run away with this holiday. They're definitely laying the groundwork to pull ahead, get past next year, because that's what we're talking about. We kept talking about with E3 and then Gamescom, the fact that Microsoft has so many exclusives, they're able to come out at E3 or before E3 and be like, hey, you're not going to hear about Quantum Break. You're not going to hear about these other 2 games. We're going to talk about them at Gamescom. This E3 is going to be totally focused on what's coming out this fall and into the future so that 2016 looks awesome, even though you know that 2015's end looks awesome as well. We have Tomb Raider. We have Halo.
Exactly. I don't think PS4 sales are going to suffer because the people that are going to buy it are going to buy it anyways. And I don't think that any of the exclusives would be the system sellers that people would think that they are. You know, like even Uncharted 4, if it came out this holiday, I don't think that that's going to sell a bazillion systems.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Especially because there's a bazillion already out there.
Yeah. What I actually do think is I think Xbox sales are going to be pretty good because of all the people that decided to buy a PS4 that were Xbox guys to begin with that are now going to be like, well, you know what? Now it's time to buy an Xbox.
There's no longer Kinect. The price is lower. Here's Halo. Like, okay, you find because when you talk to somebody who doesn't have an Xbox One, what they say is, "Oh, I need a game on it that I care about." You know what I mean? And this is. Which is a weird thing to say, but when you think about the fact that if you're just buying third-party games, then PlayStation 4 can give you Batman, Witcher, whatever, you're fine. But when you get over there, you're building the same case now, right? And the fact of you have Sunset Overdrive, you have Halo, you have Tomb Raider, you have Massive Chalice, you have, and the list goes on of games that are exclusive that you've heard enough good things about, where you're like, all right, time's now. It's the holiday. I'll ask for it. My wife will get it for me, so on and so forth.
Yeah, exactly. And then of course there's Nintendo. Which, between Mario Maker, Yoshi's Woolly World, and Star Fox, I'm excited. It's going to be a great time for me. Is this going to sell systems? Absolutely not. But it's going to have a good lineup of games, for sure.
I'm looking forward to Mario Maker. I just worry about how much I'm actually going to play it. You know what I mean? It feels like it. I worry about it being one of my usual. I'm super excited for this Nintendo game, and I get it and I play it for a week and I'm done.
Yeah,
and I don't want that.
Guarantee that the only time I'm ever going to actually make a level is going to be in Let's Plays that we do here.
Yeah.
I'm never.
But that'll still be fun. Like
it's going to be fun, but it's like I'm not looking forward to Mario Maker to make Mario levels.
Sure.
I'm looking forward to playing others. Mario platformers will forever be my favorite game.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
So the fact that I'm now just getting that
unlimited,
constantly, oh man, I'm gonna be all about that.
But see, like that's my thing is like, it sounds good on paper. You know what I mean? Just like Little Big Planet does, but there has to be a finish to what's built in the game. And so once you have all the gold stars or whatever the hell they do in Mario, red coins, blue fucking gems, purple shoe. Once you have all the collectibles that are built into the 100 levels that are on the CD, right? What's next? You know what I mean? Like, is it just that now there's infinite worlds, but like,
I mean that's
how do we vet the crap and what am I do? Why am I playing them over and over again?
So here's the thing, like, I love Mario platformers. I specifically love Mario World.
Yeah.
And I remember
Mario
back in the
World's awesome,
day, there was a huge thriving community for ROM hacking
Yeah.
with the Mario games, specifically Mario World.
Yeah.
And that this is to this day one of the reasons the PSP will be one of my favorite systems of all time is because you could do emulation, you could do all this stuff, and you could play the ROM hacks. And all it was expertly created Mario World levels. But the thing that made it special was that they were full games. Like there was thought put into the progression of the levels and the difficulty curve and all this stuff. With Mario Maker, I am a little concerned that we're just getting level.
Yeah,
It's not going to be actual experience. But what I am looking forward to is the creators that do that.
Yep.
That have download these 20 stages. They're a game.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting to see how Nintendo kind of supports that. And if they do support collections of levels being a thing.
Package. Yeah.
You know, because
Or if I
like
can
a
sort of
playlist
jump
or
into a
something.
creator's thing and do
Like
a play.
that's going to be the thing that makes this go from, oh wow, I really love this and I love playing this to, oh my god, this game is amazing.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Andrew Jeffries wants to know what our favorite gaming all-nighters from back in the day are.
The one I immediately default to is whatever NCAA. The NCAA will say 2000, 2001, where it must have been, let's see, I went to college in 01. So then it must have been NCAA 02, where I came home. It was building up to coming out. My best friend Poe, he went like a week before and bought his PlayStation 2, which was a huge deal. Because in my community of gamers or friends, I was the gamer, right? And so Poe always came over and played stuff at my house. He's the guy who I always talk about, like, we passed the controller for Metal Gear, and like that was like we discovered that together. Finally buys this PS2, buys NCAA, and then we both bought it that, Tuesday or whatever. Then he came over and we played from like 4 o'clock in the afternoon until 6 in the morning the next day. Like I remember opening the door to say goodbye to him and the sun was coming up. You know what I mean? And we had it where I brought the TV out of my bedroom downstairs onto a card table, and he played on the TV and I played on the big screen. And then whenever one of us got to the big bowl game or the big rivalry game, the other would stop and hold off so that we could switch spots. So whoever had the big game was on the big screen TV and stuff.
Oh,
and we played
awesome.
some ridiculous amount of seasons that year, because we played every game in our season. We were insane people.
Were crazy people.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. I mean, I have so many memories. Like this is a topic that I can go on forever.
It'd be its own topic, right?
Yeah, we should
Smash,
probably do that
Perfect
at some
Dark,
point.
WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy,
GoldenEye, Mario Kart, all that stuff. But yeah, Smash Bros. I'm not even gonna get into it. The amount of all-nighters I've had with that just doesn't even count. All 4 games. There's been multiple ones.
Right.
The Tony Hawk games, like I have so many memories. Blockbuster games, like I feel like that alone could be a topic of games I've rented and just played all night for 3 nights because the rental
That's all you
was
had.
that long.
Yeah.
You had to get it done. But the story that will always come to mind is Halo. So Halo 1, me and my friends beat together. This was me, Alfredo, and then my best friend Curran. Like they were way better than me, but we all really enjoyed playing Halo together. Halo 2 comes out November 9th, 2004. We get there, we play it, beat it in one sitting together, co-op. Halo 3 comes out. We do it again. And I will never forget it because this was a time we were in my living room. Each of us had our own TV. We system linked it.
Yeah.
And we're just sitting next to each other playing co-op. We played through the entire thing. And we were playing online with one other person doing co-op with us, one of Alfredo's friends. And I remember we were playing on, I don't know if it was Legendary. It probably was Legendary or at least Heroic. So it was difficult.
Hard, yeah.
And I am not good. So I was definitely the guy that
I'm down, guys.
Like, just hide in the corner, let us get far, and then when we hit a checkpoint, you can come out. And I was like, all right, I'm just enjoying this for the ride. And at the end of the game, spoilers for Halo 3, there's a part where you get into Warthogs, the vehicles.
Yeah.
And 2 people are driving, 2 people are on the gun seats, and you're driving across this big thing in the sky, and like it's blowing up, and parts of Halo are falling off, and all this shit. And then at the end, there's a big ass jump. So Curran and Alfredo's friend jump and make the jump. Alfredo is driving, and I'm like shooting the gun and stuff, and we're going. He's about to make the jump, and I accidentally hit the button to get out of the car. So I fall off, and Alfredo just starts driving without me. And then he realizes I wasn't in the car, and then in real life, everyone just kind of looks at me like, what the fuck, man? I'm just like, just go without me, dude. Just go without me. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, dude, just go without me. Like, we gotta finish the fight. And then Alfredo like goes off, and in the cutscene, it like cuts to the in-game cutscene, and you just see my character just explode. And it was just the best end. And it was then like 7 a.m. and we all just look at each other like, that just happened. That was great. So yeah, those
moments are just the best, man. Like the other one for me was, I think it was the original SmackDown on PS1, but it might have been SmackDown. No, it must have been SmackDown on PS1, where so for some reason at like 3 a.m, like the sleepover was winding down, and my friend's like, let's just do an hour-long Iron Man match, and we're like, all right.
God.
And so at 4 a.m. we play, and at the end, like it's tied or whatever, and I think it gives you like 1 overtime or whatever they call it, and we didn't finish, and so at the end, it was like the most like, am I dreaming right now? Because it was just a screen that said it awarded one of us the win, and it was like Vince McMahon has declared that this person won, and it's like, what? Like, is this? We had never heard of this feature. This was never in anything we since then have told that story, and people are like, yeah, that happened to me too. But it's like
Vince
such
McMahon
a weird thing where eventually the
and
game's
you weren't
like,
even playing SmackDown. You were playing some other game, and Vince McMahon just decided you won.
The Mario Kart screw job.
Yeah. Oh my God. All right. Who's this dude? Thomas Sinclair.
Hi. Owner of the Sinclair gas station.
Yeah. Is it worth it to finally make the jump to current gen? Which system wins for the late adopters?
For sure, it's worth it to make the jump.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm playing to the audience, but PlayStation, you know what I mean? Like, I would say, I honestly do feel like at this point, it's whatever one you got, you'll be happy with. You know what I mean? I do think that PlayStation seems to have the leg up. And again, this is my personal interest in terms of what's out right now. Like, let alone for Uncharted next year. You know what I mean? But what I'm excited about, like everything I listed today, right? So Witcher, Batman, Dying Light, right? And her story is a PC exclusive. So those 3 games right there, you can get on Xbox One, no problem. Massive Chalice, State of Decay are Xbox One exclusives. They're awesome. You know what I mean? In terms of consoles. But then, I mean, I like the interface of PlayStation 4. I like how it runs. I like the community. Granted, I covered it for so long. It's second nature to me. You know what I mean? So it's a weird question. But like, if Halo and Tomb Raider do something for you right off the bat, then there you go. But Uncharted collections this year still. You know what I mean? Uncharted's next year, which is awesome. I'd love to see what the other first parties are doing. But like, you really couldn't go wrong. It's like, I always used to answer this question. I still should, I guess, with the thing of just like, where are your friends? Like, wherever your friends are playing, that's where you want to be. So just worry about that more than anything. I do think it's a fine time to jump.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I feel like you need to, and if Alfredo was here, I know exactly what he'd say, because he is an Xbox guy through and through.
Yeah.
But he bought a PS4 because early on that was the answer.
Yeah.
And like everyone was saying that. But at the end of the day, his friends play Xbox.
Yeah.
Still. So he plays both constantly.
I
but
know.
Xbox is where his shit's at. So
yeah.
Honestly, for me, it's like they both seem great. They both have lineups where both systems have some games I'm like, fuck, I want to play that.
Right.
Yeah.
If
PlayStation had things like Ori, I'd be like, yep, I don't need to play it. And Cuphead.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope, that's coming Xbox.
Yep.
So this is going to happen.
Yeah. No, that's the big thing is like, there's just such parity there. You know what I mean? Where it's like, we have the PS4 out there. I was trying to get us onto one PS4 in the living room where Colin and I have our accounts are on one unit, so we have to keep disconnecting it. Then I thought through the problem more, and I'd put it on a second system instead of my primary system. So now my primary system's never hooked up, so I can never remote download anything. So I switched it out, and then I come out there, and Colin's disconnected it to put back in the other system. I'm like, just recover your profile on this other system. Like, it's so easy. And it's also like, well, hold on, the Xbox is turned on at all. You're only turning on this other thing to play Netflix.
Yeah.
Like, the Xbox can do that too. Why don't you just turn that on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plus, Xbox Skype is awesome. We use that all the time now. It's just, it's fucking rad.
So if you like Skype, get an Xbox.
That's the one to go for. Get that Kinect and that Xbox Skype ready to go.
At Nafier6, what do you want to go back and play, but you never will?
Oh, man.
That's like half the games that have come out in existence.
I mean, I would love to go back. And I mean, like, this is not, I'm sure how he means the question, but I'll get to more of his thing. I would love to only play DC Universe Online. I would love to be so dedicated to that game that's all I play. But the problem is it's such a time sink, especially now at Endgame where it's just raids and shit for me, where it's like I'm more than 500 hours into that game. And it's just like, I know inevitably I'm going to stumble off the wagon here and get back into it. And that's a month and a half of my life of just nightly grinding and trying to get exo bits and bytes, which you can't do right now. It's like, in terms of a game I'd love to get back to. That's one of them. I could go out there right now and read off the
list of all the games
that are still in wrap. You know what I mean? There's so many games out there still in plastic. It's just like, Sunset Overdrive. Like, I love Insomniac. I love Drew and Marcus, who were the guys in charge of that game. I've never played it. Like, I played it at preview events and stuff, and I was like, this is cool.
But yeah,
it's not like I'm never actively like, I need to sit down and play Sunset Overdrive. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not how it is for me.
Yeah. For me, it's like the majority of the Kingdom Hearts spin-off games.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sure I'd like them.
Sure.
And I hate on them blindly without actually playing them and knowing how good they are, because I know a lot of them are really good.
Yeah.
And just because they don't have a number in front of it doesn't mean that they're any worse than 1 and 2.
Sure.
And then Peace Walker, I think, is the glaring answer for me, where it's just like, I'm not going to go back and play
But you can
it,
just,
but
now
it's
you
like,
just got to, you'll be fine. Once you get Phantom Pain, it's going to be fine.
I'm just going to be in it.
Tim, I can't fucking wait for Phantom Pain.
I can't
Do you understand
either, man.
that
I'm
every
so
day
excited.
I think about Phantom Pain? Every day I wish it was Phantom Pain Day.
Yeah.
And like now we're so close that we're starting to book trips maybe around it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm bringing them a fucking thing.
Yeah,
I'm not going out. I'm not going out. I'm going back to my room after our commitments. Maybe bringing the games, the game screen I have with me to play wherever the hell my commitment is. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm so scared about that game, man, because I play Metal Gear differently than you. I just play for the story, and I just want the campaign.
that's there. You can do that.
I know, but like, I'm more from everything I've heard about 5. It's that it sounds so big and so open, and I'm like, I just want linear.
Just go. There's a whole tab that says story. Just play those missions. Nothing else.
Okay. Do I get quiet then? I want quiet.
I can't spoil any story things as part of my NDA and embargo information.
Fine, Greg.
I got you, Konami.
Wesley Bray. If you were in charge of Sony, how would you make Morpheus a success?
I would not do it.
Your livelihood depends on it.
I would show them the reasons it's not going to be a huge deal. Let's not do this, please.
Yeah.
I would say, like, literally, my thing with how to make Morpheus successful and how to make money off Morpheus would be, all right, cool. This tech is cool and it's so close, but it's not there yet. We can let Oculus and HoloLens and everybody else do this. And what we'll do is PlayStation 5 will come bundled with Morpheus from the get-go. Like, I feel like that's their problem. I feel like they're in another Move situation where it's like, what's going to happen is they're going to launch with a bunch of cool shit. It's going to be really cool. Everybody's going to like, oh, this is a nice thing. I use VR and I like it. I think it's cool. I like what I'm doing in these experiences. I don't know if I'd like to play it forever, but blah, blah, blah. All that aside, it's going to be, and I'm being generous, 10% of the PlayStation 4 owners buy that.
Very, very generous.
5, between 1 and 5 are really going to adopt this thing.
Yeah.
And so then immediately every fucking developer is going to be like, oh, it's cool and it's great, but like we won't need to make games that are making money that can go Xbox One to PS4 and PC. So that's not how we're going to do it. You know what I mean? So unless Shu, in all his wisdom, is back there right now with the first parties being like, cool, I want you guys to make these games. Numbers don't matter. Get a team on this. Let's do something awesome. I feel like they're going to come out and it's going to be Dreams. It'll be this like big thing. It'll be really cool that not a lot of people are going to play. And then it's going to be a bunch of other games that people aren't going to really play. Yeah. And then it'll be stuff like BioShock Infinite's Move integration. Yeah. Where it's like, all right, cool. You know, this thing has this. And then there's like 3 levels. Like the next Batman or Rocksteady game will have 3 pre-order PSN things that you put on your Morpheus for and do things. It's like, what are you doing?
I mean, you're right. It needs to be a pack in with the system, and it can't be this system. It needs to be the next system.
Yeah, it's way too late to pack it in now.
It needs to be something, and this is where this will never happen. But if you want it to be a success, you need to partner with Microsoft in some way. Get it on the Xbox One as well, because that's when it's an everybody wins situation where the only way that this is going to be a thing is if the developers can make games that work on both. Yep. And third-party games can get involved, and it's not having to choose in this whole ecosystem of peripherals and bullshit that no one cares about. But that's not going to happen. Yeah. But
that's the thing is like, like if everybody could just agree to work with Oculus and have it plug into their console, you know what I mean? Which I know is impossible, but
that would be the answer, man. Like Oculus has been doing this. Just support it. Yeah. Like, make that a thing. Yeah. Ugh. All right. Final question.
It's the final question.
I love looking at some of these names and just trying to consider how to possibly pronounce it. Okay. We got Dabominik. It's like Dominic, but like he's more of a bomb. Dabominik. Dabominik.
He's Dabom. His name's Dominic, but he's Dabom.
Yes.
Dabominik.
How often do you check the hours you spend with a single game?
I wish it was easy. Yeah. That's the thing is that every game makes it a little bit different and more difficult. And like Batman, I would have no idea how many hours I put in, but I upload all my stuff to the cloud just for fear that I was going to lose all my progress. So I put 50 hours into Batman. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just because I get to see that thing. I wish all games had it very easy. I wish all games played by the same rules. Because like The Witcher,
time moves differently.
when you suspend your PlayStation 4, The Witcher, at least at launch, kept counting. So I remember looking at it, like somebody asked me how long, and I'm like, oh, cool, yeah, I'll check it. And I was like, oh, man, it says I've been playing for 3 days, and I've had the game for 4. That's impossible. This is broken. You know what I mean? It's like, come on.
Yeah, that shit's weird. Now, I'm fascinated with game time. Like, I'm and percentage, too.
Yeah,
Like, if a game tells you the percent you're through it, I hate it when it's like, I like the percentage of the campaign.
Yeah.
And then I want a separate percentage for collectibles and all this.
That's what Batman
shit.
does really well, is when you go to jump into Batman, it's like, here's your save file, game over, Greggy, and it's like 10% or whatever. But that's 10% of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go in, you can then look at your radial wheel and see you've done 40% of the story and 2% of the Riddler. You know what I mean? Like, you get to see it broken down where you understand where that number's coming from. Like, oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. And then when you go to New Game Plus, you're getting like 112%. I'm like, yeah.
See, that's just great. But like, I always remember with games like Donkey Kong Country or Crash Bandicoot where it'd say you're 30% done just because you haven't got all the collectibles and all that stuff. Like, no, it's bullshit. I'm done with this damn game. But then there's games like Uncharted that I remember I check constantly. Every save point, I would save, and then, or not save point, every time I decided I have a save point. I would save and then go back to the gameplay and then go back into the save because that's when it would update the percentage. So you want to see how it is. Yeah, we're weird.
Well, it becomes a badge of honor, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's why I know my pat upon gameplay time on 2, and then I guess I don't even know it, but I remember bragging about it. And like now with Metal Gear, I'm always like, well, like in the Let's Plays, I'm like, this save says I've only played 67 hours, but I played 90, and my Mario Golf 85 hours. You know what I mean?
Good
like,
Lord, you're
because it's just man. Like to another gamer, that speaks volumes of like how much are you really into this game, like how much you really know about this game.
Well, that's something I love about Smash Brothers, and it's just the gift that keeps on giving because even like Melee had an achievement system.
Yeah,
and like they just notify you about a bunch of random stats.
Sure.
So you play, it's like, congratulations, you played for 100 hours. I'm like, oh. Cool.
Nice, yeah.
I did.
Well, that was the thing, even with, like, you remember Burnout Paradise. Like, that was what they did so well. Of, like, all right, you smashed, like, a fucking cone. It's like, all right, 300 more of these go. You're like, oh, geez, all right. You know, you won a 1 out of 40 races. You're like, oh, man, there's so much to do. Because, like, that's what I was talking about with, like, why The Witcher got me the way it did, why Batman did, like, why anything really quest-based is getting me lately. It's just, like, I feel like if I can only chip away at something for a few hours, minutes, you know what I mean, depending on what it is, I like to feel progress is being made. And that's why, with like to Colin's point earlier with The Witcher, right, is the fact that there's so much to do in The Witcher that it feels like you're not making progress. You're not doing
stuff, All right, guys. So thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring that topic. Squarespace is how we made kindoffunny.com.
It's true.
I'm in love with how it looks and simple it was to make. Nick Scarpino did it himself.
He did. And he's not the brightest guy in the world. He's not the brightest bulb.
He isn't.
But he made it all look the same on every site. That's one of my sweetest like memories of that first week when we were getting all this stuff working and how impressed he was. That like, look, it looks like this on the website and it looks like this on your phone.
And the iPad and all this stuff. So that's great. So the sites look professionally designed regardless of skill level. There's no coding required. It's very intuitive and easy to use. It's with state-of-the-art technology powering your site to ensure security and stability. Trusted by millions of people and some of the most respected brands in the world, including Kind of Funny. Starts at $8 a month, and you get a free domain if you sign up for a year. Start your free trial site today with no credit card required at squarespace.com. When you decide to sign up for Squarespace, make sure to use the offer code KindofFunnyGames to get 10% off your first purchase. Squarespace. Build it beautiful.
This is my idle animation.
I like it. It's a good idle animation.
Thank
you should probably do something interesting.
You know what we got to do?
What?
We got to figure out how to fucking capture the N64 again.
Yeah.
I want to play No Mercy so bad. I think about that every night too.
God, you have an interesting life, Greg.
It's just, it's a weird life, all right.
Yeah.
I either got to get Metal Gear or we got to be able to capture No Mercy.
It's one or the other. It's going to come down to that. Kevin, figure it out.
Wait, I mean, that should be extremely easy.
But that'll be laggy then. Remember, we bought that box that puts it through, and we'll talk about this later.
We have to figure it out. I was saying figure out the Metal Gear thing. Can you put on your Solid Snake?
I should probably just give up. I can't. I should just admit that I can't wait till August, and I should start playing Ground Zeroes and not right now. Just get 100% of Ground Zeroes.
Wait it out.
It's too late, man. I need it.
If you do that, it's gonna be worse in August when you're like, I've been playing Ground Zeroes for like 2 months.
Shit, that's a good point.
Kevin comes with good points. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Kind of Funny Gamescast, the first and last ever, episode 27. Next week, guess what? First and last ever, episode 28. It's going to come, and then 29, and then 30, because that's how numbers work. Unless you're Final Fantasy, and then you add a bunch of weird numbers in between.
It's going to be episode 29-2.
Yeah. Oh, don't tempt me, Greg. Should I do that at some point?
No, don't do that. Save it for then, because if we're coming up on like a milestone and we're early or late, then you can do it. That's the way you do it. It's like we get to 199-2 because we're not ready for 200.
Just add a Duske.
Duske.
Yeah, Prologus.
Duodecum.
God damn it, Final Fantasy. God damn it.
I used to call it Dukakum just to piss off at Ryan Clements because he loved that shit.
Cut it, Kevin.
Nah, you can keep it going, Kev. Let's just do a Game Over Greggy show. What's up, everybody? Welcome